Hi everyone, welcome to the Jeonnam Sumuk Biennial. My name is Trine Bumiller and I'm very happy to be here today talking to you about my work and about the ink and paper that you sent for this wonderful project. I'm really sorry we couldn't be there in person, but this was really a wonderful alternative, and I was so excited to get the paper and to start working on my brush paintings. My name is Trine Bumiller and I come from Denver, Colorado. I've lived here for about 30 years. It's in the western part of the United States. I was born in Ohio, which is also in the Midwest of the United States. I went to school at the Rhode Island School of Design, and there I studied painting and printmaking. And after graduating, I moved to New York and started my career as a fine artist. I started exhibiting my work and had a few shows, and then we moved to Colorado. I have lived here in the city of Denver, but I spent a lot of time in the mountains, and so it's been a really amazing opportunity to learn about nature, to be involved in the landscape, and my work has certainly changed in that direction. It's become much more involved with environmental concerns and natural features of the landscape, with different degrees of abstraction, but always based and rooted firmly in the land. The paper is amazing. I was so thrilled to see the beautiful quality, the texture, the color, the tiny fibers of the mulberry tree that were implanted in the paper. It is gorgeous, and I really loved working on it. It has a very sensitive quality. It absorbs paint in a beautiful way. It shows every brushstroke, and I really enjoyed using it. And likewise, the Miyake ink is incredible. It's so beautiful and velvety and black. And I really enjoyed seeing all the different nuances and the gradations that it had when you add water to it, and the different things it could do on the paper with drying and overlaying different brush strokes and different values in the ink. I have created 4 landscape paintings based on the West. I felt like this was a non-traditional look at brush painting that perhaps, even though I'm using somewhat traditional techniques, and I don't know for sure because I've never actually studied Chinese brush painting or Korean brush painting, but I wanted to recreate the landscape using the very Eastern techniques with a very Western sensibility. I wanted to explore the vast emptiness of the landscape, and of course it's not really empty, it's full of all sorts of things, and if you look closely enough you can see things about rocks and vegetation and plants and light and shadow and water and dry areas, and you can even start to see how the land was formed. So this was really exciting to me to be able to explore these things with this very large scale, this very wonderful format of the mulberry paper. I did 4 different views, and 2 of them had an image of a road going off into the distance. I felt like that was a particularly Western look to the landscape. These actually came from Wyoming, which is just north of here, where the land is even more barren than Colorado. And seeing the road gives you an indication that people have been there, and the land was settled by people many years ago, and they have left their marks on it. So it's not particularly a natural landscape, but it is trying to be, and you can see where the vegetation has started to grow on the road and start to return the land back to the way it was once. The other 2 are more flat, but they do show a perspective of looking off into the distance. And I felt like the group of 4 would perhaps give someone a sense of the Western landscape and a feeling of the emptiness and the desolation and the loneliness, but also the rich texture and variety and nuances that it has if you look close enough. I am very, very, very honored to be part of this project. I want to thank the organizers and the people who invited me to be part of this and for putting it together and finding a way to make it work even during the pandemic. It's been a very long, difficult couple years and we are still in it. And so being able to connect in this way and finding ways to be part of a larger artistic community is very rewarding for me. And I'm very, very, very grateful that we were able to do this. Thanks again, and goodbye from Colorado.